Hello, Gold participants from around the world. I'm Fleur Bickford, Program Director and MC for Gold Learning. I'm chatting today with Kay Hoover about her upcoming presentation titled Advanced Breastfeeding Case Reports, which she'll be presenting as part of our Gold Alumni presentations live on January 17th. So Kay, welcome and thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Fleur.
Well, we are very excited to have you with us. And as your title says, Advanced Breastfeeding Case Reports, you're going to be using some case studies to help educate all of us. And I love case reports. I'd love to hear a little bit from you about why you like case reports as a learning tool.
Well, I think I like the excitement of playing detective. It's like, oh, let's see, we've got all these things going on. I wonder what the outcome is going to be. And you know when the presenter's doing it, you're going to find out what the answer is at the end. Not like when you're doing an actual consult yourself, you've got all these things going on and you don't know what's going to happen on down the road, but you kind of know that it's going to be an exciting ending or the speaker wouldn't have chosen that one to present to you.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a really good point about it's different from a consult where you either, don't know for quite a while what the answer is, or sometimes if you, have clients who don't come back or whatever, you never find out what the answer is. So you're right. It's a great way to, challenge ourselves and actually get an answer at the end, which is fantastic. So I know that the way that you're approaching this, you have a specific way that you're hoping our delegates are going to approach this. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, part of the approach that I have in mind is that we need to make sure we have an intake form that covers the full gamut of questions that we need to know in order to solve the problem. So part of it is in thinking about our history forms that we use. Another thing that I thought of that might be a good approach is this something that is a lactation problem, or is this something that I need to turn over to somebody else? And that's not always clear cut. When the mother calls you on the phone, there are times when I say to her, I don't think I'm the person you need for this particular situation, because from what I'm hearing you say, it seems to me that you need somebody who can prescribe a medication, or you need somebody who can assess the baby, or whatever, that's at a different level from the level that I work at as a lactation consultant. So that's a part of the case studies that I'm going to be presenting, is looking at what point do you turn this family over to somebody else?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a very important one for sure. Now, I know that with your handout that you're providing, you have a request for our delegates, and maybe you can explain a little bit about how you're hoping the delegates will approach things with the handout that you have.
Oh, thank you for bringing that up, Fleur. The handout that I have goes through each of the cases. So if people read it ahead of time, then they're not going to have the fun of playing the detective that they can have if they just listen to the PowerPoint presentation as we go through it step by step and look at the information that we have at hand and where do we go next with this information, and then what's our following step. So if they read the handouts ahead of time, they're going to find out the answer right away. And I think it's fun for us to have a little bit of give and take on, gee, do we say, come on in, I'd be glad to see you for a consult, or do we say, I think maybe you need to call your doctor. So that's a part of it.
Okay, that's great. So for all of our delegates who are listening to our interview, keep that in mind, and you don't want to ruin the fun and the challenge of trying to figure out what's going on in these cases. So you can download the handout after the fact, and the handouts are a great reminder for afterwards. So, Kay, just as we finish up here, why don't you tell us just a little bit about what you hope delegates will take away from your presentation and be able to kind of take back with them to their own practice?
Well, the cases that I'm presenting are unusual ones. They're not the ones that most of us are going to see every day. And I think sometimes we need to realize that there are some far out things out there, and we just want to keep them in mind as possibilities. But as I said, these really are kind of unusual situations that you may well not ever see in your practice as a lactation consultant. And these are cases that I've run across in my private practice, not things that I've seen hospital-based. And
Mhm.
currently I'm working hospital-based.
Well, that's fantastic because I think even you know, like you say, it's fantastic to actually be aware of these things because I think we're all familiar with the saying of when you hear, hoofbeats, look for horses, not zebras, but sometimes it is a zebra, and being
Yes.
aware of that possibility is a really wonderful thing. So I am very, very excited about your presentation. So thank you so much for chatting with us today.
Well, thank you for very much.
So for our delegates who are listening, you will be able to hear more from Kay and challenge your own detective skills with her presentation titled Advanced Breastfeeding Case Reports, coming up live on January 17th as part of our Gold Alumni presentation. So we look forward to seeing you then. Thanks everyone for listening. Bye for now.